In a second. Hello, everybody. This is Howard Pitre, your host for the Pitre Dish, along with Mr. Jeremy York. Welcome back, Jeremy, you Wookiee handsome bastard, you. And then we got
Good
Mr.
to be
Nick
back.
Newley, and it's Nick the Corn and Adrian's AWOL tonight. I don't know where the hell Adrian is at. She'll come in, I guess, when she's ready to come in. She might be busy. I didn't tell Adrian. And tonight we have a look. I'm like on the edge of my seat tonight because we had her on last week on a Paranormal Swamp Talk, and she's exciting enough. And then tonight you have Dallas playing the New Orleans Saints, so I might be needing a defibrillator before this night's over with.
We ain't worried about football, Howard.
I loves the foosball. Oh Lord! And then of course we got to share this out. Everybody in the free world. Y'all sharing it out, guys?
Yep.
All right. As long as y'all sharing, I'll do a little sharing, and we'll get all this rolling on. Like I said, we had Miss Dana on about a week ago, and right before Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving, Dana?
It was good. Ate too much as usual, but it was pretty
Did you
good.
go into a coma?
Almost. Turkey kind of does that to me.
I loves it too. And I was like, I didn't wake up till Friday. Friday afternoon, I was out, man. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just so much good food, good food. I spent all that time cooking, and then I was just like, it didn't take much for me. If you don't know who Dana is the granddaughter of Mr. Ford, who actually was the first person, I believe. Yeah, he was the first person that captured the Honey Island swamp monster on film, and he has taken plastic casts. He's been doing this, and he. The thing is about this man, he wasn't looking for fame. He was not looking for glory. He wanted to know the truth, like a lot of us paranormal investigators out there. And my hat's off to him. He's a great man. I'm gonna tell you that he was a great man. He's a legend in his field. Some of the accounts of people that have been out there and the disappearances out there of people who actually went looking for the Honey Island swamp monster. Unbelievable. But yeah, Facebook, we loved that video. He was super cool. I don't know who you are, but if you come back in and log in with StreamYard, there's a little thing you have to log in so we can see who your comments are and everything. We appreciate that highly.
It's Anita.
It's Anita? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't shared this thing out like I should have. I've been busy, and I'm sorry for that. I apologize to Dana for that. I've been doing some work on the side here, and it's been taking up a lot more of my time than I expected it to do. So my apologies to Miss Dana for that. And matter of fact, that's why I'm sharing the hell out of this thing now, so everybody can get a chance to see this.
If I hit that share button, I haven't used this little computer, so this is all. So could I share it on my stuff right now without losing?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there's a share button.
If
You
I
hit
lose
share
you, I'll have to come back. Let me see
Look,
if I
there's Adrian. Yes, Adrian.
Hello.
Hey,
Miss 50 Shades herself. Welcome
there
back,
she is.
Adrian. Adrian, this is Dana. I don't know if you have
Hi.
met her yet.
How are you doing?
Another day in paradise.
Where
She's
are
up in
you?
the mountain.
Oh, what mountains?
Colorado.
Never been there.
Stay away till summer. It's not pretty.
Very cold. Huh?
Good to see you again, Adrian.
You too. No, it's actually been 55 today. It was 55. It's 55 right now. It was like 70 earlier, and snow this weekend.
Go figure.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
You don't like it. But you should have thought about it before you packed up and moved there, huh?
You think, you would think that somebody, I had to weigh this a little bit, and I guess he won.
Oh, okay. So you won. I am done with that part of the show. All right. A lot of people, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Yeah, I just seen that. Mort. So if you're not familiar, we just started out. This is Miss Dana Holyfield, and she, like I said, she is the grand. Oh, who's that?
Nick.
That was Nick.
Just lost Nick.
Oh, that's Nick. He does that all the time. There he's back. Let's see if he comes through.
Yay.
There he is. And Miss Anita is the granddaughter of Mr. Holyfield.
Yeah, connection issues. Sorry about that.
And he's one of the first. He is the first person to actually capture the legendary honey island swamp monster. Which a lot of people, it's a lot of misconceptions of what this thing is. It's living in our swamps around here. Some people, it's a cross between a monkey and an alligator. I don't see that happening. But I think it's a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, that actually lives in our swamps, and it's actually adapting to its environment. A lot of the castings that they've captured from him, this thing's got webbed feet. But then again, you have humans out there that have webbed feet. So I mean, you don't know. I mean, this is our legend. I mean, this is what we have that's here. And matter of fact, I keep saying legend. I think it's more of a fact that this thing's here. I think this thing does exist. I'm not going to be the one to go out there and go find the damn thing. You know.
Oh, come on. I'm gonna take y'all
only if you go with me, Dana. I'll go if you go. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna make that happen. I'm gonna take some people out there and do a camping trip. Maybe y'all like to do that.
I'd love to see Jackie out in the freaking swamp.
Do a night tour. They say it comes out more at nighttime. It's nocturnal, so.
Wow. I'm so prepared for that.
Right at dark or at night mostly.
There we go.
To me, that stuff will be. And then there's more. And of course, I mean, I think there's more than one of these things out there, just like a Bigfoot. I mean, I believe there's communities of these things. Of course, you have to have, the lifespan of one of these things. I don't know, maybe it's 100 years, maybe it's 150 years. I don't know, it might be 10 years. You don't know.
Yeah, my grandfather found different size tracks out there. So he believed there was a family there was at least 5 different sizes of the same type of track in that area over the years he found. So he believed there was more than one.
So let's hear everybody's theory on that. How did they get there? Do you think it's a portal? Do you think it's something that is just hiding? What do you think?
I think it's just something that's probably always been there and just never was discovered until the people ran up on him. Like, it wasn't discovered by science, but there's the swamp. That swamp is so big. There's lots of places something like that could exist for years and years without having to leave the swamp for food, because you have the food source in the from plants and animals and fish, and just places that could go undetected for a long time.
And a matter of fact, Leanne, she says hi guys, and she might not want to say too much, but Leanne, she's a squatch hunter. She does that squatch hunting like that. Kentucky in that area, I believe. So maybe she might need to come down here and bring Ernie and them, and y'all just come camping out in the swamps. Then will take you out there. I don't know if we'll see you again, but I mean, because Ernie's be smelling like biscuits anyway. So.
That might draw it in.
He should be taking breathing biscuits. Yeah.
That might bring it in.
It might. We need to check the legends up here. We're real close to the mountains.
Y'all have a lot of skinwalkers and stuff up that way. Colorado.
I really hope we never run into that.
So we were talking about this the other night. I think it was last night's show about the connection with Bigfoot and aliens, UFOs. UFO sightings are usually common when there's a Squatch sighting or anything like that. Have there been any UFO sightings in the area when the sightings of the Honey Island Swamp Monster?
Well, way back then, there has been sightings of UFOs. My father claims to have seen what he thought was a UFO on a hunting trip. He was with his cousin. And when I was young, we had a camp that was up around Angie, Louisiana, which that area connects to Honey Island. And we were all sitting on our porch. It was two families, and there was a blue light, like in circles, shining down on the river. It wasn't making any sound. It was probably a couple hundred yards from our camp. And we watched it, and it moved over our camp, and then it shot straight up in the air and disappeared. And we all saw it, so it wasn't just one person's imagination. That was, we figured that back then, that seemed like a UFO.
I mean, to me, you also got to remember these UFOs are usually common. They sighted around a lot of military installations and things. And Pearl River, Honey Islands, that's all part of NASA.
Yeah, NASA's on the border. Mm-hmm. They have a buffer zone on the other side of the other side of the river. If you travel through the swamp towards Bay St. Louis, that's where NASA does they have a test site, and they shoot test rockets. And we've been told that people have seen also the Navy SEALs train out there in that swamp. So, I mean, that's a lot of the government uses the swamp, I think, for things like that. So who knows? They might have invented, made something in a lab over there. Maybe it got out and escaped. You never know.
That's a theory I've heard also.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they say that all the eyewitnesses that described it said it looked almost human, but it wasn't. They said it was so close to human they would have been afraid to shoot it, because it looked too human. Unless it was gonna hurt them, they probably would have had to. But my grandfather always said he'd never seen an animal like it, but he didn't want to call it an animal because he said the face looked too close to being a human, with just long hair that hung down to the ground almost, and long arms and broad shoulders, and it stood taller than he was. He was 6'4". So
that's a big man.
Mm-hmm. Could it have resembled Jeremy in any way?
I am the only one here who knows absolutely nothing about this monster. So while we're doing the show, I'm actually looking him up, trying to get up to speed. And Howard, you are going to love this. This thing
You have a resemblance to
several
it.
different. No.
Jeremy, in fact, I actually have a picture for you right here behind me. This is actually one of the pictures of the plaster cast that Harlan Ford took of the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
Oh wow!
And maybe Miss Dana, do you have any of those plaster casts near you, or?
Yeah, I got it out because I thought y'all might ask us.
There's a few different sizes there.
Look at that! Look at the claws on this thing.
Is that claws?
It's
Yeah,
claws.
and you see the
It
web,
looks like it.
the
Oh.
web,
Oh wow!
and it's got a little dew claw, right? They call that a dew claw.
Claws, yeah, they're like
Oh
But
no.
it can climb. People have seen it climb up a tree, and it could swim. They've seen it swim across the river.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the swimming part.
hmm
He's got the
Wow.
web feet.
There was an old
Yeah,
trapper,
that's-
Ted Williams, used to say he would see them in pairs swimming across the river, and he would say, "They don't bother me, so I don't bother them." And then he came up missing in the swamp. So they used to say, "Oh, he must have got too close." But
Can you imagine when them little baby ones climbing up a tree and just coming down in your boat?
Imagine a
Man,
big
Lord.
one doing that.
well, they had there was a lady called, her name was Bessie Crawford, and she liked to hunt out there in the Honey Island Swamp. This was many, many years ago. She's probably really old. I don't know if she's still living, but she told a story where she would go hunting with the guys, and she'd come back to the camp, said, "I think I shot a monkey out of a tree," and they thought she was making it up. And finally, she taught one of them to go in with her, and they claimed that this was a story I was told from her nephew, that it wasn't, it looked like a monkey, but it wasn't. They called people, like they said, people in white coats came and took it away, and nobody ever knew any, what happened, to it. So
You said they were white coats? Because, I mean, to me, that's almost like the government coming to snatch your
yeah.
ass.
Right.
Yeah, they came and got it and took it away. And whether it was, they said it looked like a monkey from a distance, but when you got up close, it wasn't a monkey.
I wonder if they maybe will release that like they have some of the alien autopsies and the Area 51.
It'd be interesting if they would, but nobody really knew what they did, who they just came, left, and, they had the white coats and the white van, and
Crazy.
I know you have already mentioned it before, but what was your grandfather's name?
Harlan Ford.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just reading up on him.
yeah.
I have the whole history of it on my website, thehoneyislandswampmonster.com.
Do you have that video by any chance that they say that he took?
I have the link.
There's probably lots of links. I mean, it's in my film. I put it in my film uncut so everyone could see it just the way I saw it, unedited.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm trying to get up to speed here with the rest of you guys.
Yeah, Jeremy, I got a link of that footage if you'd like for me to send it to you.
Yeah, please. Please.
All right, give me 1 second here.
Pamela says, I think of white coats, lab science guys. Black coats are government investigators. I hadn't heard that. That's interesting.
We got the Men in Black. I know that. That's stuff like that, but I've never heard of it.
I don't put that past anything anymore either.
You never know around
It's
here.
almost like it's like Men in Black.
You got to remember, this is Louisiana. We do everything in reverse. That's why we're such a great state.
Used to be great.
Right.
It's still great. It's got
I'm
some
going to keep
issues in it.
Howard.
What you saying, Dana?
We're trying not to encourage so that he'll keep it clean. We're trying.
I'm trying to keep it clean. I actually respect this man. I really do. I respect Miss Dana for what she's doing, trying to keep her grandfather's, work alive.
Hi,
So
Scott.
I mean, to me,
Hey, honey.
and then I come in.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
Scott.
just went dirty.
Yeah. And then there's a lot. Yeah, that's another thing with all the voodoo. There's a lot of voodoo that's practiced up in that area too, in Mississippi and all in that general swamp in this area. I mean, they do have a lot of voodoo rituals and
New Orleans.
get-togethers out there.
Hmm. We don't really do that too much in Honey Island, but there's probably been some people that has in the past, but that's more down in Cajun Bayou country.
Gosh.
That's Scott. Yeah. So much for clean. So I told you about the time I went to band camp. No,
Let's not. Let's save that for another
Yeah, no.
time. How about that?
you got to remember these guys are used to rowdiness, and I'm trying to do a good show for Dana on this one. Usually we do a clean show for Paranormal Swamp Talk, and we'll bring that same guest back in on the Pitre Dish, and it's all hell.
And we always have to apologize to the guest beforehand.
Well, he did that, so don't worry about it.
Well, you usually warn the guests
He
before.
kind of warned me like this. So
There we go.
Well, I don't know. Dana's going around. I mean, Adrian's going around. She's doing talk shows and stuff. And man, I've heard this already because I was on Carl's show the other day. He brought me in, and I talked to a lady, and evidently Adrian was on that talk show.
I was.
And Nick Muley was in the guest chat.
He was.
He's frozen. Look at him. He's still as a.
He's having trouble tonight.
And man, we've been warned, and we want you on the show, but you're going to have to keep it clean, Howard. You can't say no.
I don't keep it clean on this show.
Yeah, I know. I remember that
Bye,
that
Nick.
first show coming back.
You know what? Hey, it
was all
is
in
what it is. Let's roll with it.
That's right. Oh Lord, that was a good show. Y'all should have been on that show with the corn. That was messed up. That show was messed up. Man, Lord. But
Which one?
let's get to that. The corn show. That's all I know it as now is the corn show. Because they still talk about that.
Yeah, I've heard about that show, Howard.
Yeah, everybody's heard about this.
There's nothing more messed up than when we did a show with David Oman. Nothing more messed up.
Yeah, that was a messed up show too. Which show's not messed up?
Well, what do you expect when you get David Oman, who has no filter, and you get a bunch of us and then call me after I've been drinking on a Saturday night? No, probably not a good idea.
Bad. But I love it. I do. I love doing it. I'm actually thinking about I'm doing 3 shows now, but I'm thinking about actually doing a late night show. Yeah.
I already told you no, Howard.
I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway.
And what's this show about here, Howard?
I'm going to ask 2 certain people to be on this show with me, and Pitre Dish is going to blush.
That scares me. In other words,
He
it's going
is
to be
trying to
banned.
come up with the absolute worst, raunchiest show he can possibly think of. I already told him no.
Oh, come on. Have some adventure.
I know, that's what I said. Live free. I don't think nobody would want to come on and be a guest on that show. I've got some wild ideas for it too.
I know quite a few that might want to be a guest on that show that are pretty wild themselves. And I'm not saying me, but a few.
Yeah, let's not mention Scott's name here.
Scott, come on. Go on the show.
Scott's he's on a hiatus, I think, right now. He's
Yeah.
taking a break.
Not yet. Not yet. He'll start next week. He's going to be on 13th Dimension tomorrow, and then I think after that he's taking his break. Is that correct, Scott? Hello,
There's
Carl.
Carl right there. There's Mr. Carl right.
Oh, there's Carl. Hey, Carl.
And he said that's
He
correct.
said, yeah.
He says he's been sick.
Yeah, speaking of being sick, why didn't you text me? You're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Um,
he's in trouble.
He's in trouble.
He's in
What
trouble.
kind of sickness has he got? Like mentally?
That's what he's supposed to text me. He's in trouble.
It's a mental sickness.
That's normal. That's all of
I
us.
know, but it can get worse.
It's like sinus infection.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know y'all been getting snow and stuff up there.
Y'all keep it, please.
Not snow, but we have been
No.
getting some rain.
No,
Yeah,
you got
same thing,
snow.
obviously.
Tim showed a picture of him out there, and it was a field of white.
I don't know about y'all, but down here, and I think Dana can say the same thing. Mother Nature is bipolar. That woman, I mean, just goes off.
She's
Oh,
full
man.
of menopause. Leave her alone. It's hot.
Yeah,
It's
Paul.
cold,
Hot
and-
today. You
A
dress
couple
like
weeks
winter.
ago, we got a little bit of snow, but nothing like Snow White.
No, we haven't really got anything like that.
No.
Nick,
Yeah, I was talking-
are you back on? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's my
He's usually virtual.
it's the damn blue screen. So
Okay.
it just I got I was using my desktop before and I had connection issues, so I was getting so frustrated with it. I had to run downstairs to go grab my laptop, and now I'm in this situation.
Yeah, but they've also
God,
changed
you
the green
cannot blame
screen
me for that
too.
crap. No. Do not blame us for that.
I
Well,
didn't say
StreamYard's changed up a lot of stuff. I was talking to Mr. Carl the other night, and they you don't have to have a green screen no more.
oh, I didn't know anything about that. So that's something new for me.
You can go virtual backgrounds now on StreamYard.
Send that out, Nick, before you hopped on.
I got an email that they got a bunch of new stuff out.
I know.
Like I said, this is all new stuff, so I didn't know anything about this.
I haven't tried any of it yet, but
Oh, and I have talked to we had last night on Paranormal Swamp
Yes.
Talk. We had Jesse on there from D's Ghost, and I asked him about certain things that you can actually use to go on squatch huntings or something like with the Honey Island Swamp monsters and stuff to detect. And he's working on some stuff for that. Also, I talked him into doing him and Tim both Kohler about possibly inventing a Jacob's ladder, because you cannot find one nowhere
explain that.
unless you get.
You can make a Jacob's ladder fairly cheap, I think.
I want to put a car battery on it.
I'm trying to think of what this guy did. There's one at the Blackford County Jail. Nick, you know the Blackford County Jail, right?
Yeah, I've heard. I know about it. Yep.
Okay. They'd had a Jacob's ladder there that I used for an EVP session a few years ago. Last I knew, they had moved it over to Randolph County Infirmary. But it's like a cheap man's build. It's got
You want to use a little 9-volt battery, and of course, a Jacob's ladder. If people who don't know what it is, it's two wires that come up, and it sparks electricity between the two wires, which actually gives electrical charge to the air, which feeds spirits, entities, or whatever that's there. And a 9-volt battery will cause, it'll give a good little charge, but if you get two, these, I don't know, half-inch steel rods, you hook a car battery in that thing's going to really go. It's going to it's going to be like going to a transformer hanging on your telephone pole.
think of it.
That's going to really charge up the air.
As an extra large taser.
Yeah.
Where the prongs are
Cattle
sticking
prod.
out.
Cattle
Yeah.
prod.
I'm glad to know that my mind is not the only one that did not know what a Jacob's ladder was, except for what Scott was thinking. I didn't want to call him out on it in case I was the only one thinking that, but yeah, okay.
And he's also developed, and he actually made one, and he sold it within 15 minutes. So I told him I want one. He's gonna make one. My fiance Jackie, she's already cleared a spot on the shelf for this thing. It's a doll.
Is it to
It's a doll.
communicate with ghosts, or what is it used for?
Hi,
A
Jeff.
Jacob's
How are
ladder.
you?
Yeah.
A Jacob's ladder is to actually charge the atmosphere, and
Okay.
it gives him energy. It's like giving a po' boy to him and say, "Here you go, get something to eat." You know, and that's what it does. That's basically what a Jacob ladder does.
That's not what a
But
Jacob ladder does, but okay.
yeah, I love it. It does do that.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got the virtual
That's one
screen
version.
on now. I just realized. I was going over
But
with what Carl was telling me to do, and I think I got it.
But he's actually built a doll,
Away, Nick.
and it's like a REM pod. Okay, and it's an Annabelle doll.
It's a Raggedy Ann.
No, it's the one that from Annabelle, from the movie Annabelle,
Oh, okay.
that eerie looking freak looking thing. Yeah, and it's oh yeah, this thing lights up and everything when something gets close to it.
I want one in a Michael Myers doll.
Yeah.
He said if you send it to
No,
him,
no. Better yet, a killer clown.
Okay, I'm not sure who the Facebook user is, but good evening. And
Yeah.
Jeff, like the hair color you have. Who?
Yeah.
Who you
Which
talking to?
who are you talking
me.
Probably. Yeah.
Your hair color is gorgeous.
No, I'm beautiful.
You are.
to?
I'm a handsome
With the
man.
blue screen that Nick's got, it looks like his hair is colored.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I think it looks like Nick.
Yeah.
Not the women, Miss Dana and Adrian, y'all have beautiful hair color, but I
Girl
was
with the dark
referring
hair.
to
That'd be
Jeremy.
Oh, he's talking about Dana's hair.
Dana.
I thought for sure he was talking about Jeremy.
No. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be complimenting a guy on his
Thank
hair.
you.
Why not? Why is it so bad for a guy to compliment a
And why
guy?
are you so homophobic, man? Look, come on. You gotta be secure with your manhood.
What?
Wait, what?
You have to be secure with your manhood.
Oh, believe me, he is.
You know, I am. I'm a handsome man.
You're
No, I
secure with toilets, not manhood.
There you go.
That's besides the point.
No, that's the whole point.
Irene wants one of my toilet seats, man. Hell.
Oh man, does
Where is
she
Irene
have any
tonight?
idea what the hell she's getting?
Always got one here. Autograph.
Oh, one of those.
It's all autographed. You see, it's an actual functioning toilet seat.
Oh my god.
I taped the little screws to right there.
Hi, Sam.
It's all cool. Look, it says fighting one entity at a time. I autographed it right there for you. And if you don't want to use it for a toilet seat, you can always hang it on your head. And look, it's one of them fancy man toilet trays.
Hey Jeff, you should
You
be
can
able
wear
to
it while
see
you
your
eat your dinner.
names on the screen.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam.
Got your nice little tray there.
Robert. Hi.
Hey Howard, right there, that
Yeah,
toilet
thank
seat looks
you.
like an alien.
So every time any of us that know Howard,
I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you.
I said that the way that you were holding that toilet seat up with where the stickers were at, it looked like an alien.
I am.
I'm not talking about you.
none of us can go to the bathroom, lift a toilet seat without thinking of Howard.
That's the way I roll.
I can.
Because you've been on vacation. You won't for long. It's okay.
it was. I texted him something. Anyway,
Howard the Duck.
I was known for that for years. Then I was known as Cujo.
Why?
My first
Were you
nickname.
foaming at the mouth?
No, because I'm one sick puppy.
That's true.
Cheers to that.
Jeremy, what's in your hand? What is that? Okay.
Thought he was drinking a beer.
I really did, and I was like, "What the heck just happened?"
Oh Lord. He says, "Oh, Anita said, okay, y'all locked up.
You're all
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
catch it."
locked up.
No,
All right, I figured, Adrian, since this is my first time officially back on the show, I was going to celebrate with this and one of these.
Yes.
I saw you chewing on something. I was going to ask, but good night,
Oh, yeah,
Lord.
that's right. The Slim Jims are back.
Well, my dinner's not back. I tried to cook it before I got here, but it didn't work. I had company, so.
No.
I cooked a pork tenderloin, and I cooked it. I had made some smothered potatoes and some green beans, and I was able to put it in my plate, and then I had to go take a shower.
Well,
I was hungry. I was
am I
hungry.
the only one that thinks it's okay to eat while you're on the show? I mean, close your mouth and chew. It's not that hard.
Adrian, I eat on the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
I eat on every show.
I know. We've all seen it.
Right.
Miss Dana's feeling left out here. I mean,
Nick,
you got to get Dana involved in this. No, she's got to get involved in this.
What, Jeremy?
did you get your back scratcher yet?
You know, I'm still waiting for. You know what? I'm actually going to check eBay right now to see what my what the update is, because I should have gotten it by now.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't that like weeks ago when I sent you that link?
Okay, Sam, we can see you. You're okay now.
Are you still goes? Woo.
Yeah.
I'm having fun tonight, guys.
Good. About time.
It's good to have you back.
There's a couple,
Everybody's coming back tonight, Dana. So you caught the comeback show too.
right?
She's in everything. You got the comeback show for everybody's finally back on here. So this is the original crew we started with.
Yeah.
Since day one, I've tried to get this show canceled since day one, and Facebook has not allowed us to be canceled yet. And I mean, I put some
I
raunchy
don't know
stuff.
how. Is that what you're pushing for on the next show? Let's see.
I'm
how
pushing
far
for
we
every show.
push.
I'm pushing for every show.
Howard, are you trying to get my network canceled?
No, just my show.
I can do that for
Well,
you.
I want to see. I want to see how far.
If you want your show canceled, that can easily be done.
I want to see how far I can push Facebook.
I can do that in
Facebook
5
actually
seconds if
stopped
that's
you?
what you want done.
I want
Or
Facebook.
5 seconds.
What? Go ahead. What?
Jeremy?
Jerry's like,
The vaccine. Conspiracy. Government bullshit.
blah
Let's see what
blah
happens.
blah
Let's see what
blah
happens.
blah 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 blah.
Adrian,
I've
I
talked
am
about
completely
everything.
with you on that one.
I've talked about everything to get this thing. I even called out Zuckerberg. I mean, come on.
Zuckerberg don't give a
Oh my
flying. Yeah, he doesn't care.
If you want to talk about somebody that might be able to get under his skin, talk about Tom Anderson.
I don't know who that is, but well, bring him on the show.
Me neither.
Back in the day when MySpace was big and Facebook was nothing, Tom Anderson was the one who created MySpace.
Go. We're not going to cancel it. What?
See, that's
We are
his.
going to see how far we can push before they ban the show. Or at least this one episode.
Yeah. Well, not this episode. We gotta be respectful. I'm this show. I'm trying to respect this
Well, wasn't it this show a couple of weeks ago that got cut short, or was it the Swamp Talk?
I didn't know about
I think
that.
it was Swamp Talk. It was Swamp Talk that got cut short. It got cut, and then I had to come back and rebroadcast it.
Why?
Oh no, somebody it got cut from Things Network. It didn't get cut from any of the other live streams. Just got cut from Things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I remember Crystal was telling me about that, and I was like, how in the hell did that happen? You sure you didn't? You sure you didn't press a button that might have canceled it out on StreamYard?
Why? I was streaming everywhere else.
Somebody might have reported something.
Yeah, but
That was. I tell you what show that was. I'll tell you what show that was. That was with Natalie Jones.
Okay, somebody probably reported something.
No, that wasn't Natalie's show. I think that was with Ricky.
No, that was Natalie.
No,
Ricky? Why would anybody report Ricky?
I can think of a reason or two.
Well, they didn't do it on this one because I mean we did the corn show with Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking nothing about corn on that show.
Because I know, I mean, it's not about Ricky himself, but certain people who don't like Ricky. Let's put it that way.
I don't
love
understand
Ricky.
that. Ricky is amazing. I don't know who wouldn't like him.
He is.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
great guy.
He is.
I'm surprised he's not on here now.
I'm a little biased, and he's one of my friends, so
Yeah.
I've never seen the bad side of him, so I can't say anything.
Do you speak this highly about me, Adrian?
I do.
Honestly.
Oh, hell no. You got to tell
He
people.
does have a bad side.
Adrian's like, don't put him on there. No.
No. What I said was, if you want it banned, then you do this show. That's not you. As far as you, yeah. If there's
Yeah.
if I had a problem in the middle of the night, who would I call? One of three people. You'd be one of them.
Oh, you would? You called me up?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Jeremy's another one. If he's awake.
Yeah, that's the problem, because when my hearing aids are out, I am not hearing that phone.
That's okay. I'll leave a message.
Okay.
Now, I want to get back to Dana. I want to know
I should
who would
not
be
one of those
who would be man and woman enough. I want to know who would be man or woman enough to come on down here to Louisiana and go on a camping trip overnight in the swamps.
Let's do
Dang.
this.
Night vision. Night vision tour.
I got a fleur. Let's do this.
I
Go look
I'd
for
go down
evidence.
too.
I've got one too.
I can't afford that. That's high dollar.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'd had to sell a kidney or something.
You only need one.
You have to
Right.
buy an attachment that attaches to your phone for, I think, $250.
That's what I got. That's what I have, and I love that thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Katie L. Elaine said she would go.
Katie,
She's
Howard?
not far from Louisiana.
Yeah. And Howard, I'd go, since I always have done a few cryptid hunts myself. I'd go too.
We need to set something up.
Yep.
I'll go.
Do it live.
Yep.
I thought about doing a
If we
So
get to
down
the
from one end of the swamp to the other through one of those bayous, like an interview in a boat going down the river at night when you have the swamp lit up with the lights and with the moss hanging, a lot of ambiance.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
when the
that's
water's
awesome.
low enough, and look for evidence on land, and so there's a lot of possibilities.
And this is a time of the year for that. I mean, if the water pretty much drops down because of the cold, so you can probably get some good tracks.
Mhm. This is all the fleur is.
That's
And
what
then
I
you-
got too.
Attach it to your phone,
Yep.
and you got it. That's it.
Yeah, it works
Could you attach
great.
that to a tablet?
What is
Yes.
that?
Yeah, you
Yes,
can
you
put it
can.
into a tablet. Yeah, and they're really not.
That's what
that
you need, Dana.
What is that? I
cheap,
can't.
too.
My screen's very on this laptop. I'm trying to figure out how to get it left. Okay,
It's called a FLIR.
Fleur.
Yep.
FLIR.
But make sure when you order it, make sure the attachment, whether it's a C type or whatever kind of tablet you have or phone you have,
Mm-hmm.
because I had to return it once.
Okay.
But
Thanks.
they're awesome. You download an app with it, and then you put it on your phone, and it takes pictures and puts it on your phone, and all you have to do is touch it, and it takes screenshots or whatever you want.
Will it do video?
You will
Yeah,
do
we'll
a
do
video.
video too. Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
It's like it picks up the red. It shows you red and blue and stuff like that,
Yeah,
Dana.
just
Like
a
when you,
normal-
it picks up heat
Like
signatures in the smoke.
infrared, like
It's just
infrared.
like a normal
Yes.
thermal
Infrared,
camera,
right.
and they're
No, it's thermal,
yeah, it's like a
Thermal.
normal camera.
not infrared.
Okay.
No.
Red, blue, green, orange. It does all that.
And it's not that expensive either. I mean, it's like the one I got was probably about like $200 at the most part compared to the average price of a real thermal camera. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it is.
Like if your grandfather had that when he was filming, you could see his whole body out shape and his outline and everything walking through the trees.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
You
the
can
one,
see
the
a
one that
mouse.
I have is the actual real thing, and I got that at a pawn shop for $400, whereas if get it retail, easily 1,500 or if not
Mhm.
more.
You can see a mouse out in the field running and tell
Right.
exactly what it is.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that.
And
Carl
I
says
think
he
I
has
got
a
it off
Sony night
Amazon,
vision
actually.
Does it record? Well, I guess your phone would record like video then.
If you hit that, if you open the app and hit the record, it will.
Okay.
infrared light that goes up to 400 feet. Wow.
I have a Sony night vision. Okay. Okay. Out of him, that does not surprise me.
I have the same. That's the same kind type of camera, I believe. I have a night vision camera, but I wanted a flare. I always wanted a flare. So that and a what do you call it? An Ovilus.
This is the
Yeah,
one
the
that-
Ovilus are. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
the real
expensive one.
camera. Yeah. Yeah, the Ovilus, that's something I'd like to get too, but they're pretty expensive. I mean, not hugely expensive, but they're about. I actually have a page up right now. It's about $500.
I don't even want one of those. Jeremy, does that record?
No, it'll only take pictures.
Okay.
But that's what I do want. I want one that does take video.
Okay.
But those are quite a bit more expensive.
This
Again,
was
this
not.
was $400 at a pawn shop, and I talked them down from $650.
This will take video. It hooks to your phone. And I don't.
$250. I mean, you can't beat that.
I don't believe I even paid $200
But-
for mine.
But that phone attachment, I don't think was released until after I got my FLIR.
I don't believe I even paid $200 for mine. Look on Amazon.
Yeah, it just says a built-in mic. Oh,
Would,
Yeah.
would it go on a drone? I wonder if you can do it on a drone.
I have a drone that has it has infrared but not thermal.
Okay. Dana, have you done a lot of investigating at all?
Out there in the swamp, I have I go out there every now and then and look for tracks or just any kind of evidence, or people that I know out there might call me and say they found tracks or something or had a sighting. And I take my camera and go out there and see what happens. You never know what you might stumble on out there.
That's cryptic. So maybe have you ever been on an investigation to find spirits?
No, I mean I've had things happen like that video I sent you that happened at the horse ranch watching my
Right.
daughter. They were riding horses, and that thing I had my camera going And I didn't know it happened till when I tried to send the video to the person on the horse, and she said, "Did you hear what was in the camera?" And I had to go back and listen, and you could hear a voice, and it had to have been some type of spirit talking in the camera. It's pretty creepy. But I haven't gone out looking. I people, said they might have something here in this house. So I don't know. My daughter has said, they think her friends tell me they think my house is haunted. So
And did you ever put any trail cams around the house?
no, not around my house. No.
You might want to try that, because we just did a matter of fact. I was talking to Jeremy about it that night. We went Saturday night, did that investigation, and that one frame that I sent you, it was just one frame. We got the frame before that frame and the frame after, and there was nothing there. I was there, boom, and it was just boom, boom, it was gone.
Put a
Is
trail
there a
cam.
timestamp on those
The trail
pictures?
cam. Yeah,
And what was
timestamp
the,
and
and what was the time difference between those pictures?
one
One what?
fraction of a second. It's like one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Can you send those pictures to me?
I had to get them from the other paranormal team. I just viewed them. Now, I did take some pictures because the guy was actually from New Orleans. He was a New Orleans firefighter. And on his property, in his house, he has a ring that they dug up in the city of New Orleans. It was in the French Quarter area because they were putting this like 15 years or so. And they dug up a ring, and it's made out of bone. Now, what type of bone? I have no idea. Now, with this ring made out of bone, it had some inscription, some kind of cuts and stuff all the way around the ring. And I sent it to Brandy, who's a voodoo priestess from Voodoo Authentica. And she was telling me it was a ring. The ring is made for protection and to conjure up spirits, some kind of spirit for protection and stuff, asking the ancestors and things of that nature. So that's definitely with voodoo, deal with voodoo. So that was on the property also. And then he has his parents, this person has his parents on the property buried. So what we can make of it, we believe it's his father that was on the property. It's actually, he's got a lot of connection to the land, a lot of connection. That's not getting to anything deep about it, but that's basically what it is. So that's what we believe it was. Because the lights would go on in the horse barn for no reason whatsoever. So, which made it really weird.
Oh, Adrian, real quick, I found those attachments on Amazon. They're ranging from $199 to $399.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, the $399 is like a professional grade.
I'm glad you brought that comment up, Howard. I actually wanted to ask Tim. Tim, did you get that Ovulus from the website digitaldowsing.com? I'm kind of curious about that because that's what I'm actually looking at right now.
Now,
yeah,
if we can, for just a second, I'd like to get back to the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
The guest, yes, because that's what I've been trying to do, and y'all just keep rambling on.
I'm not.
Man, I don't know what the hell.
Don't even.
Oh,
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I cannot believe I am going to do this, but I'm basically shooting myself in the foot here. Howard, you are going to love this. This swamp monster thing here has several nicknames.
Yeah, I know this.
it does. Yeah.
Nick knows where I'm going with this.
Yep. I'll just say one. One of them is the Cajun Bigfoot, but there's also another name, and I'm going to let Jeremy say it.
Well, a couple other nicknames are the Thing, the Rougarou.
I've heard that one.
The Rougarou, yeah.
Rougarou is totally separate from this thing.
That's actually more of a separate entity, the Rougarou.
And also the Louisiana Wookiee.
Yeah.
And we need to end that there so that we don't go any further with that.
Because, say it, Jeremy, you got people who live down here.
Out there, and Howard, same as what I said last night, I am not accepting any new nicknames at this time.
No,
He is the Indiana Wookiee. That's it.
no, he's the Adonis.
He's the Indiana,
All he'll
No.
ever be.
he is the Indiana White Wookiee. That is it.
No. He's the Adonis, and he is the founder of Stroke the Beard Club.
Stroke
Which
the
I
beard.
still,
What the hell? Now, where you going with stroking
Adrian,
beard?
you
What
are
the hell you?
founder of that club?
I am still mad that we didn't do that. I'm not happy.
What beard are you talking about stroking, Adrian?
Go to his Facebook, you'll see, or his TikTok.
It is pretty well buried with all the videos that I've been posting lately.
Bullshit. I found it.
but Adrian, you are in luck. I still have one video of an inductee I have not posted yet that I've been meaning to for the last couple of months.
You better.
Nick, have you found that video of the Holland Ford?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
yours
it.
is up there.
You want to?
Yeah,
Can you
right
can
here.
you play it?
Rise
Yeah,
is
can
up
we play
there,
it?
And Robin's
Cause
is up there.
I want to play it.
So, give me
Now
one.
I just
second
got to
here.
get Katie's up there.
You gotta get it up there.
Bear with me for just a second. Okay, so I got the footage here. This is actually from a documentary, but I have it muted. And Dana, correct me if this is from your film that you, your documentary film that you made. But this is it.
Our shooter run back to the house.
Yeah.
There's just been too many people who have had some type of encounter to say that it's not out there. The Honey Island swamp monster is a creature that lives in the swamp. We believe that it still exists. It was first reported.
Just gonna fast forward just a bit so we can get some more of the footage.
I was liking Dana. What the hell?
There's more footage coming up in just a second.
What is that? Stood up, Trump, and they said it's
See it back there?
long gray,
Yeah, like right over here.
colored hair
Yeah.
around his face and body.
I got it.
My grandfather said it had tremendous shoulders. And he said what he remembered most about it was its eyes. It had these very big amber colored eyes. He said it looked right at him.
Now, is there a way to zoom in on that without losing what clarity it does?
Hold it right there. Hold it right there. That's Jeremy York.
No.
So
Bad
wait,
boy Howard.
Jeremy, what were you asking though?
Actually, it was more directed at Dana. I know they zoomed in a little bit to see the creature there behind the trees. Were they able to zoom in any further without losing
Resolution.
clarity?
There's been a few people that
Resolution, yes.
tried to get a little closer and they freeze framed it. And I'm trying to remember who did it, but I know when they first, the first distributor, when I first had a distributor on this film, they did it where you could stop it and go in closer. But
Can you mute that, please?
It's already muted.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not coming from me.
okay. Howard.
It's not me, dude.
I was going to say, Howard, we got that damn game going on.
No, that's in the back. That's actually music down a little bit.
there's a cryptozoologist, M.K. Davis. I think he was able to go take that and go in closer and freeze frame it. He has I think a website, a Facebook page. I could look in to see if he still has those visuals, because I know he did analyze it a little bit more in detail. Was able. He has equipment. He was going to do it with. He had some special type of equipment, and to where he could go in closer.
What about doing an invert to it or doing like a negative?
Um, they had, I know I on YouTube had did, where I screenshot it from YouTube where some people had freeze framed it and did like to show the slope of the neck and the way the arms were, how long the arms were with freeze frame. And it looked like he had inverted. I'm not really sure how he did it, but I've never done it, but I'm sure somebody out there has.
So, Dana, that actually leads me to a question I got to ask because I came across this on YouTube. Somebody had examined the footage a few years back. And while they always say, like this Harlan Ford's first sighting was back in 1963, some people say the footage was actually shot in the late 1970s. I mean, is that true in any way? That
Because we didn't know about the 8mm till it was in 2005. I was making my documentary. My grandmother brought me out this box of films. He had a lot of them like were labeled, like one would be labeled deer, and then he had turkey and wild boar, and then she said this one's labeled Honey Island Swamp Monster. I don't know what this is, but you're welcome to use it. And I asked her if she had her old projector, and so we were able to put it up on the wall, and that was the first time we saw that. We didn't know he had it, so he had to have done that. He died in 1980. And so it was sometime after his interview, obviously in the 74s, whenever I think he was on In Search Of, but it was sometime between there and when he died. But he used to take his camera after his original sighting. He started taking his camera every time he went out in the swamp, and he would stake out goats, like for bait, and sit up in the tree blind and bring the goat back. We were, as kids would play with, he brought this goat home, and we were terrified that the swamp monster was going to eat the goat. But he didn't my grandmother said she thought the reason why he didn't go public with it was because of what happened when he went public with the tracks in 74. She said it was like monster mania, like people came from everywhere wanting to go in the swamp, shoot it, to where the game warden had to warn people, that were coming from everywhere wanting to go hunt it down. And she thought he just really wanted to know more about it. And so we thought, well, maybe he got closer than any of us knew, knew more about it than what he really told people in the end. Like he was just more interested in learning more about it.
Danny, can you go back to where you was talking about when you're taking the goats in? Now, you was telling us, I believe, on Paranormal Swamp Talk, that your grandfather went out there and he's found pigs. Now, pigs are an intrusive animal, and whatever was out there in the swamp, he wasn't killing these things for food.
Well, the wild boar that they found in the area where they found the tracks they had several of them. That there were some up in the wood area in the trails that had their throats ripped out. They'd been dead a while because flies were swarming. Then they were going duck hunting that day, and they found they saw water rippling on the lake out. They had like a lake out in the middle of the swamp, and so they got down and was crawling through the cattails, thinking they were going to shoot at some ducks. And when they parted got to the water, they saw a wild boar that his foot in the water was kicking still because it was a fresh kill, and that's what was making the ripples. And he said blood was everywhere, splattered all over the throat. Also had its throat ripped out, and it was just left there. So he thought it was like a territorial kill, maybe, because it never drug it nowhere to eat them. So, and most animals that are going to kill something in the swamp's going to eat it. If it's big, there's not many animals out in that swamp big enough to take down those big wild boar like that. And one of the guy, the hunting buddy that he had, Billy Mills, mentioned when I did an interview with him many years ago, he said there was a sound when they were out there. It's like it was beating on a hog, like a drum beating. And he said whatever's beating that hog like that had to have been big. But so,
But the coalition with that, I mean, you was telling with the beating. I've read and seen where these Sasquatch is out in the mountains and out like in Oklahoma and all over. They will take and beat tree logs against each other. Then they would throw rocks at you if you get too close to them and stuff. And here in Louisiana, we don't have rocks like that. We have logs and sticks and stuff.
Cypress sticks.
And Dana, I think you was telling us once on that show that y'all had actual sticks thrown at y'all and stuff like that.
We went camping out there, but we went right at dark. We didn't have a lot of time to set up the tent because it was getting dark, and we were trying to get ready. And a stick comes sailing towards us. We heard first we thought maybe it was a squirrel knocking sticks out of the tree, but then it happened again. It was thrown towards us. Then we heard the beating, like it was beating a stick on a tree in the distance. So it felt to me like it didn't want us there. We was way out in the middle of the swamp and like in its territory, I think, and he didn't want us out there.
That's why we need a big Jeremy out there. Put a little perfume on Jeremy.
Good night, Goat.
No.
And let Jeremy be the bait. Be a lady. Because you're going to be smaller than him. Then again, it might be a female.
You know, Howard, you're scaring me right now.
That's our response.
So, okay, the wild boar, you said that he's got his throat ripped out. Were they able to determine whether if it was ripped out by his claws or if it was ripped out by his teeth?
He never said. That was something he just talked about. He also wrote about it in a letter I found at the Argosy magazine. He talked about the hogs, and he didn't really describe. And it was I don't really know if they really investigated it that much back then. They just said the hogs were killed and left there to rot.
Okay, because I know that you got the footprint plaster. So I was just curious if anybody.
She doesn't have just one. She has multiple ones, different sizes.
Oh, I know, but I'm more curious about his teeth.
Well, he probably had some big teeth. I think, some of the eyewitnesses talked about, the face looking like menacing looking with the big amber eyes. And they did say that it had like sharp teeth. They had they thought that the claws, because my grandfather had said that at the watering hole where it let down to drink, at first he thought maybe those smaller tracks he found were the front like hand prints, but then when he found different sizes in different areas, then they thought, well, maybe it's because it was like two walking like on 2 feet. But they did have some eyewitnesses that said they did see it climb in a tree, so it could climb also. Probably with the claws, it would be easy to climb up the tree.
Okay, and also has anybody ever found what might be considered like a home or a nesting area?
Well, there was one of the eyewitnesses that contacted me it was after I did my film, and he sent me an email and said that he was going to he didn't want me to put his name. He said it was a family. I put it in my book, his email, so people could I deleted his name, but he said his great grandfather came in one day and said that he had found his den where it was sleeping, and he got his gun, his bullets, took off back after it, and he never came back. He went missing. They never found him again. And I had heard that his grandfather's name, I'd heard him talk about it over the years. Other people talk about he went missing in the swamp. So when his great-grandson contacted me, told me the story, I said, well, maybe that was a true story, because, for the grandson to tell me that it was true. The grandmother they said they didn't want no publicity about it back then. They didn't want to think his grandfather was crazy for saying he saw a monster sleeping in a den. But
Okay, so if this person had gone missing and never to be seen again, I just wonder how many, if any, missing persons reports from that
Well, there
area.
was the other guy,
Yeah.
Ted Williams, that disappeared out there. He was the guy. He was the old man on this in search of with my grandfather, and he was an old trapper, and he disappeared out there too, or died out in the swamp, and they didn't know how. And we thought for years that they didn't find him either, but his granddaughter contacted me and said they did find his body, but she didn't know how he died. You know. And he
Wow.
was the one who said they would swim right close to him and get out on the bank. And he told my uncle one time that they would shake off and wet him. He was so close to him. And he would said they swam in pairs. So there was two of them.
Okay, so that leads me to another question. Has anybody compiled a list of people who were where their bodies were either found or last missing, people whose last known whereabouts were in this area?
No, all I know is that Ted Williams was the one of them that went missing, and the guy's grandfather. That's the only two that I know of. And they never said, like the authorities never said, "Oh, the swamp monster got him," you know, because
Yeah.
they wouldn't want to. They probably would have thought the public would think they were crazy, but just,
There's people that do go out in the swamp that do disappear. I mean, that happens.
Right.
they get a lot of people get lost out. I mean, you go out in a swamp and you could get turned around so easy. You just need to, like someone said, you watch what side of the tree that the is it the
Moss.
the green moss stuff grows on.
Dana,
You might find. Mhm.
can you give your website or a link to your original video? Somebody was asking, they'd like to see.
It's Honey Island SwampMonster.com is the the one about the swamp monster.
There you go, Tim.
See, it's interesting, hearing about these disappearances, and I've heard this with a lot of cryptids, but supposedly they also say too that the Honey Island swamp monster is apparently also responsible for like disappearances of children who live in the swamp. I mean, has there been any proof like any like kids have ever actually gone missing in the swamp area? Okay.
The question there would be, where's their parents?
Right.
And I don't want to hear that because I mean, we just recently had a few months back. We had a woman that it's just right after I believe Ida. Or was it before Ida? We had some bad rains and stuff like that, and they were down in the lower parishes, and they were at a bank or something. And this little boy, a little girl, about 3 or 4 years old, just walked too close to the bank and fell in. They never recovered that body.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
That was all over the news. So accidents do happen.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do.
They do, but I am really curious about a list of people who have disappeared there.
Yeah, me too. I'd
And
like to see that too.
and this monster has been sighted obviously numerous times, right?
Yeah, like at least 13 that I know of.
So I'm kind of curious is, if they take the sightings, the dates, and approximately where in the swamp he was sighted, and if they match that up with any disappearances or bodies that were found, see if anything might be able to correlate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll have to look into that. But just knowing that the two, because I've done a lot of research, that's the only two that I know about that was like linked to the Honey Island swamp monster, because Ted Williams was one who claimed he had seen it a bunch of times out there and where he'd go fishing, and the other guy claimed that he found its den. So, but anyone else that might have went missing, nothing was ever said about it being, because they were too close in his territory. But you never know. Could be.
Yeah. Has this thing ever been sighted outside of the swamp.
Yes, I had someone tell me they saw it up by where they have a store called it's Indian Village area, and there's a dumpster beside like a pick-a-pack, and it's close to the swamp, close to where those swamp tours go out, and they claim they saw it digging trash. Someone told me that like a couple of years ago, they saw it digging trash out of the dumpster, and then another lady that I interviewed in my film and for the book, she lived in Isabel, Louisiana, and it's more like farm country, but it's close. Like it leads, if you go through a couple of pastures, you could get to the swamp. And that swamp up in that area is like more, I think, more like the Bogachita area, but that connects with Honey Island. But she said it was crossing the road when she saw it, and it jumped a fence and went into and it was coming from a cow pasture. It jumped the fence and went into the woods. And she said that she saw long hair hanging off its arm, and the way it was walking across the road real fast, just leaped over this big old like metal fence that was leading into the woods. So, but these things could probably migrate and travel different areas. Since it was close to the swamp, it's probably the same creature.
And also remember, Jeremy, that it's this area that this creature has to roam in is very, very huge. Okay. You're talking about parts of Mississippi going into Louisiana, which all those woods, matter of fact, about 3 or 4 miles down the road, it's nothing but woods for about 40, 50 miles of just woods and swamps.
Try pulling it up on Google Earth, and you can see how big Honey Island, and it goes for like 7 miles, and then it connects to another swamp going towards Mississippi.
So these things would theoretically have plenty of places to hide if they really wanted to.
Mhm.
Make it truly elusive. That's for sure.
Okay.
Trust me, if you went hunting out in those woods and your buddy wanted you dead, nobody's going to find your body.
I believe that.
There's a lot of space out there, a lot of space. I think Dana's frozen. You still there, Dana?
Yeah, Dana's frozen, I think.
Yeah, she is frozen.
Maybe come back out or come out and come back in.
She'll figure it out. Maybe
It might be a connection problem.
yeah. She
Howard,
does. She lives out in the swamp actually too.
Howard, we move her from the stream and bring her back on, see if maybe that might work.
Why?
Howard, how far are you from Honey Island?
Oh, it was actually my
How's that?
How far are you from Honey Island?
About 20 minutes.
Go investigate.
Yeah,
You
I'm
got
surprised
the
you haven't
equipment.
gone out
Go
there.
I told you, Dana, I'm going to bring Dana's going to be my tour guide. I ain't going out that freaking swamp without somebody knows what the frick is going on out there. I don't want no Bigfoot using me as a freaking Kotex or something. That ain't happening.
You know what, Howard? If you go out there, maybe it's a good thing you don't go out there because every time you go, it'll probably come after you.
Oh, look, I'll be out there visiting your people, okay?
Visiting.
That's all I'm saying. Y'all know Jeremy up in Indiana? Yeah, we know. Yeah, I'm all good.
Oh, by the way, are you coming up? Are you coming up next week or what?
No, it's not going to happen. I got filmed next week.
Priorities, Howard.
You know
Yeah, I
he's
was just
famous
asking, you know
now.
what?
He's
Jeremy, I
going to
was asking
forget
you
us
that the other
little
night.
people.
I was just asking Howard the other night, saying, "You still coming up here?" And I found out that he couldn't this weekend.
No, he's going to forget us little people because he's famous now.
Oh, I just sent her a message. See if she pick up.
By the way, at some point, I actually do have another link of that footage, which I'd like to show you guys at some point, because this was the footage. I mean, it's the same footage, but they actually examined it, and it's like about a 3.5-minute video, but it's all narrated though. It's actually quite interesting because they claim that some people will say the footage was like considered the oldest known footage of a Bigfoot type creature, but whoever this guy was who examined it, he actually did a great job of kind of debunking a few things on the footage. He's not remaining completely skeptical that what was captured on film was fake, but he does still leave it open-minded. So when we have a chance, I got the link for that right here.
All of these things that you're showing us, Nick, and including the original footage that her grandfather took, can you post that in the chat so that people can go through and click on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll. In fact, while we're waiting, I can do that right now.
Have you heard from Dana yet, Howard?
Not yet.
She may be having some real issues there.
Could be.
Could be. She's seen that one.
Have you heard from Dana yet?
Oh.
She did say she was trying a new computer. Now it could be that,
Yeah.
and then it could be connection, internet connection. There's no telling.
So I'm actually very interested in this now. Now that I've actually got to a point where I can actually understand this conversation.
Yeah.
But it's raising a lot of questions. I am really curious now if anybody has ever taken the dates and times of the sightings of this thing and compared it to missing persons or bodies found. Now, granted, I know it's a swamp. You can hide bodies there if you wanted to. But
You would never find a body because once a body hits that swamp water, it's it. It's over with. You have so many things that can snatch you. Gators, cocoons, possums.
But the thing is,
pigs.
with those animals, even gators, I can pretty much guarantee that the teeth marks on those things are not going to be similar to the swamp
That's
marks.
okay.
There we go.
There we go.
We were talking about
My battery died on
would
this
be
top
quite a
box.
bit different from anything else.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking that if they do come across anybody that has gashes or teeth marks or whatever, by examining that, they can determine really quickly whether if it was a gator or a possum or if it was something that they don't know.
But like I said, Jeremy, that if you get a body that as soon as it hits that water or hits in the swamp, it's gonna be it's rare that you will find a body because, like I said, you have the alligators that's in there, you have possums, coons, and things of that small, the coyotes or whatever. You have pigs. Pigs will eat a human body.
In the forest area. Because this thing obviously
You
does
have
not just
pigs.
hang out in the swamp.
You have pigs. Pigs will eat a whole body, man. I mean, it's not unheard of. They'll digest the whole human body except for the teeth of a person.
That's what they used to use to dispose of bodies.
Yep.
And not to say now you have this creature out there that's been there probably, God knows, since the beginning of time. We don't know. And what is it doing with a human body?
Okay, so if there's one, then it goes to reason there's obviously more than one.
Yeah, they're swimming pairs. I mean, you just heard her say that they guy went out there and they would actually swim and shake off on the bank in pairs.
Because I think this thing has got comparisons to Bigfoot, right?
Well, you also have to think too. I mean, it's just like, again, with some of these other cryptids, if you have a sighting like the original sighting with Harlan Ford from 1963, considering that was almost 60 years ago, I would pretty much believe that that original creature is probably long gone. So the fact that there's still numerous sightings of these creatures.
But you don't know the life
Every
expectancy of these
day.
things. It can have a life expectancy of 200 years. You don't know. It could be 10, 200 years. It could be
Well,
300.
I'm
We don't
saying
know.
that
Yeah,
there
because
could be.
I think there are turtles out there that live 200 and 300 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is possible. It is. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, considering that, you know, sometimes they've been seen swimming in pairs, that there's probably more than one of these creatures, that what if we're seeing the possible descendants of the original creature? I mean, that's just an idea.
Well, obviously we are, because there was different sizes, right, Dana?
Yes, and there was another eyewitness that told me a story about. This was many years ago, but he took a girl camping out in a camp way out there, and he said it started raining, and a fist come through the window and broke the window, and then he threw the door open, and he said there was a bunch of them like going around the camp, like trying to terrorize them, and he shot a shotgun out there to scatter them, and he said that all night they were like, and you know, terrorized by these. Wasn't just one of them, and he said by when daylight come they left, but that girl, he said that girl never went camping with me again. But he said it was pretty terrifying because it did break the window, and it was a hairy fist, he said, come through the window. So
at that point, you know, unpopular opinion, but at that point, if they're going to terrorize me all night, one of them is going to become some kind of lab rat, because I'm going to kill it.
So I
you don't know if it gets you before you get it.
That's dinner for the next month, Adrian.
I know that works too. Let's find out.
I think it'll get you before you get it, Adrian.
Are they
I'm serious.
Possum or buffalo? Let's find out.
So Dana, I got to ask. I mean, after this whole thing occurred, I mean, did they ever determine, you know, how many there may have been? I mean, of course, like you said, there was a bunch of. Did they ever determine how many there were?
No, he just, he told me the story, and he seemed like he was telling the truth. So he just said it was like a bunch of them, and it was raining really hard, and he shot a shotgun out the door to try to scare them off. But he said that, you know, they didn't go back to that area. That girl that he said, that gal I brought out there never went hunting and camping with me again.
She probably never dated him again.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I never met her, so I guess she disappeared. She wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
I have a question for Dana, and this is a legitimate.
A lot of
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have a question for Dana, and this is I mean, I want to know this from myself and probably for future generations, people who are very interested in this. Now, you had your grandfather; he's the one who first shot the film of this creature. Now, you've picked up the torch on that, and you're running with this, and you're doing this for your grandfather. Now, who's picking up the torch for you? Who's learning from you to carry this on?
Probably my kids have been always a part of, you know, been out there with me in the swamp. And they know all about it, but they're not right now. They're not. They're more interested in other stuff. But maybe one day they'll go back, and or maybe my nieces and nephews. I don't. No one's really like saying I'm going hunt the honey on the swamp monster, you know. But who knows? Maybe because when I was their age, I was, you know, to me that was just like, okay, there's a honey on the swamp monster out there. I heard my grandfather talk about it, but it wasn't until I got older and started going out in the swamp, you know, as an adult, and actually being gone away from Louisiana for many years, and then I came back, and when I went back out there and started going to our camp, and it was like I had to get used to the swamp all over again, because it was, you know, went to Los Angeles for 8 years, and before that I went to Texas for 2 years, and so I was gone a long time, and it took a while, you know. It wasn't just like, oh, let me go out and stay in the swamp, feel at ease. And especially after being out there with some friends, and I had similar incidences happen where we heard things in the swamp around us, and We ran in the camp. The guys had left us there by a fire while they went off to run catfish lines and stuff. And the dogs started acting really strange and going around the woods and come back with the hair up. So we went inside and could hear the noise, and something hit the side of the camp. So is that my computer making that noise?
That might
I
be
was thinking
mine.
that noise was coming from.
Let's see if it's mine.
Somebody's been making that kind of noise off and on throughout the whole show.
It's not doing it right this second.
No, not right now.
Never came from me, so I don't know where that's coming
Still
from.
doing it?
No, I don't hear it anymore.
Uh-uh.
How about now?
No, you're good.
I got the game
Well,
on.
I
It's really
thought it
low.
was you because I knew you had that game on.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I mean, right now it's 10-7.
What game are
Yeah.
you watching?
Dallas and New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Who's winning?
Dallas right now, but Taysom's taking them down the field.
Yay!
What?
Jim thinks that is coming from Dana's ceiling fan. But that ceiling fan's been going on this whole time. If it was that, it'd be constant throughout the show, I would think.
Yeah,
I have a regular fan right here.
it was only on for a second, and then when we said something about it, Dana said, "Do you still hear it?" It was gone.
I think somebody has a visitor with them.
There we go.
Yeah.
Dana's got some things happening in her home, and she was telling me earlier, and it could be something in Dana's house.
Very well could be.
Well, you got to come over here and get. You said you were going to bless the house.
There it is.
I cleansed it. There it was. You heard it?
We
What
just
was
heard it
that?
again.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep, I hear it.
It sounds like talking. It doesn't sound like TV. It doesn't sound like a game. It sounds like talking, like whisper talking.
Let's see if I can turn up the light.
It's not the game in the background. You got it on sound. Yeah.
Not
Can you
listening,
hear it?
cheering.
I don't hear it now.
No, we don't hear
Not-
yours.
Because I'm
We have
turning
a
it
mystery
all the
on
way
our
up.
hands, folks.
They're trying to say they intercepted the ball.
Okay.
Nita says Dana's lights flicker before it happens.
That's
Just when she's talking.
There goes again.
There it is. I hear it too.
And I was muted, so it wasn't me.
Here, I'll mute it. Just my
I muted too a while ago too.
should I mute mine and see if it's me? Let me
You
try.
stay on.
Okay.
Unmute, Dana.
Go ahead and unmute yours, Dana.
Wait a minute.
There you go.
You guys don't hear anything on my side?
That's it. It was there, unless it was Nick.
Well, was that same noise or
It was a weird noise, but it's
the only noise I made was just moving back on my chair. That was it.
Yeah, I heard it was his chair that I heard, like a clack, clack, something.
Yeah.
Anita says it's like she's getting illuminated.
Okay.
Dana, you
That's the
illuminate
noise it
the
makes.
whole
Hold
screen.
still. Dana, talk.
Hello. Can you hear me?
There it is.
Yep.
Is it me?
Possibly. Everybody but Dana, mute yourselves, and Dana, do it again.
I don't know if it, can y'all hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3. Should I mute now? What are y'all hearing? Do I have ghost in the room behind me?
That's what they're saying. Yep, they heard it. That's when I came on.
It's Nick.
It's
Okay.
me.
Nick. As soon as he unmuted, it was Nick.
I don't know how that's possible.
All right, let's all mute except for Nick. Nick, talk.
Okay.
Ooh, it's the mute show.
All right, can you guys hear anything? Jeremy.
Okay, I still don't know who it is because when Nick's alone, it's not showing up. When
Yeah,
Dana's alone, it's not showing up.
But yet, when those two are together,
Uh-huh.
okay, what are you two doing in the background that we don't know about?
Wait, what?
Whatever that was, that noise was really weird.
It is.
I'm in my room.
It's
/ office.
Somebody
So
said it
there's
sounded
not
like a
really
fighter
much going
jet.
on.
Anita said that. It sounds like a fighter jet outside.
to
No,
me.
there's no
It
planes.
almost sounds like a crowd of people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it
Yeah,
sounds
it does. Somebody said feedback, but when you guys are doing it alone, there's no feedback.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
the only thing I
feedback on
got
Nick's
There
was
it is.
speakers.
So did
Y'all
again.
mute. Let me try it. Let me see if it's me. TV on.
There it is again.
You muted, Dana?
Oh, you want me to mute? Okay.
Yeah. Adrian? Happy birthday, Mr. President. Mr. President. um, we're visiting today. We're visiting Jeremy's relatives in Louisiana. He's one of those cousins. Everybody watch. It's a family reunion of sorts.
It's not you.
Howard, your microphone. Do you have your? What microphone do you have?
I have this one. Looks like
Oh, jeez.
God, I'm trying to be good.
I already said what you thought.
Okay. Okay. Back to the show, everybody. Let's get back with the show because we only got 15 minutes.
Yep.
Dana,
Yes.
when your grandfather went back to do the footprint plaster, he had somebody with him. What is his story? Do you know?
The Billy Mills, the one.
Yeah.
Well, what he said was he was with my grandfather when he first saw the creature in '63. But whenever they found all those tracks in that area, he said in the interview that we got with him for my film, he said Harlan went back and made tracks, so he didn't go with him at that time. But he was with him when they saw it, and then he was with him when they saw the hogs. But he said when my grandfather went back, because I guess he lived in a different area, but when my grandfather went and got plaster, he went back out there. And I don't know who he had with him when he made the tracks. But I know he showed them to the Wildlife and Fishery, a man named Alvin Frierson that was with the Wildlife and Fisheries, to see if he had ever seen anything like that. And he said he had never seen any kind of animal that would have made that type of track. So then they said they brought him to someone they knew at the LSU zoology department, and that to see what they thought about him. But I don't recall him saying somebody was actually with him when he poured them. All I knew was he made he just went back out there and poured them. He might have taken his son at that time because he used to take him a lot when he was younger.
Okay. And Howard, I think that noise was coming from you because I could hear it, and then when you muted yourself, it stopped.
I do have the TV on. You can hear very rare. I mean, it doesn't have that, all like a crowd or nothing. There's nothing. There's just
that's what I was hearing, and then when you
this mic
muted
might be
yourself,
picking it up.
it completely stopped. So I think it was coming from you.
Could be. Right now you can barely hear it. I mean, barely.
I think that's what we were hearing. We were hearing the crowd at the football game.
You hear that? You can't hear it, and I can't because I can. They're
Between
screaming
you
like
and me,
crazy right
Howard,
now.
there's something
They're
wrong.
really screaming right
I
now.
can hear it, and you can't.
What is he saying? Tell me. Because I can barely hear that. Do that again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again without the mic. Do it again. Do it again.
No, Howard. Seriously though, I think it was coming up from you.
I think it might be.
Yeah. And of course, Adrian wasn't here to see that. Did you catch that, Nick?
Yeah, I heard
The noise, and then as soon as Howard muted himself, it stopped. Did anybody else in the audience catch that?
I know. I think Tim or Anita did.
I haven't seen Tim say anything in a while.
Tim Smith, yeah.
6 minutes ago. So,
But Dana, did anybody in your family have anything to do with the making of that movie? That was Jackie. Making of that movie, the legendary Honey Island Swamp Monster.
perfect, Natalie. Perfect.
The legendary.
Or Legend of the Honey Island.
That was my film.
That was your film?
The Legend. When I first put it out, it was called The Legend of the Honey Island Swamp Monster. And then after a few years, I revised it and called it The Encounters with the Honey Island Swamp Monster. So it's the same film. I just had updated it with some new stuff I'd found out there.
Look at that. Howard's new not talk show.
Yep.
Oh, you want? No. I'm talking. Look, trust me. I am talking. Look, I'm trying to be. This show here usually would be. I would probably have changed my underwear twice already because I probably peed myself.
I'm
laughing so hard. But
your new show, Howard, is going to be the Howard the Mime show.
Oh, I could do visual effects then.
Actually, no, I think that would be never mind. That would be way too scary.
Yeah,
no third show. No fourth show.
It would be good.
Adrian, I think the noise was coming from Howard.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I heard it, and then he muted himself, and then it stopped.
I've got gas.
I was going to say, is that
we already know that. The four of us found that out in Kansas.
Yeah, we did. It was good times there.
We did have a good time, and that was still great gumbo.
Thank you. I made him gumbo, Dana.
Oh yeah, what kind?
Oh yeah, chicken and sausage.
Chicken sausage.
Yeah. It was.
We got that double D sausage from Bogalusa.
Oh yeah, that's where we used to get all our deer and hog sausage made.
Good sausage.
Mm-hmm.
Good sausage.
It was amazing.
I just made another pot of that stuff not too long ago. Nights. But if someone wanted to see, you got your documentary movie. Where can they find that documentary movie if they could purchase it?
It's on Amazon Prime and Amazon.com. The links are, I have some links on my website, thehoneyislandswampmonster.com. They could link there and go to Amazon.
And if you want to go through the real deal, instead of watching it on a screen like a lot of us do nowadays, Dana's open for business, I guess you could say, for taking you on a swamp tour. Is that correct?
We're working on that, but if anyone would like to do that, I've gotten him to do some private swamp tours out there, taking people on a small flat boat where the big boats can't go to. But we're looking into, like, because we have some land out in the swamp for like a camping area to make it like a swamp safari type of, where we take them out there. My battery's getting low again. I'm like,
you might have to do like a slip or something to sign.
I was talking about.
You might have to do a slip or something like that to you're doing this at your own. You're coming in at your own risk.
Yeah,
you can't sue us
because you never know what can happen out there.
You never know.
Yeah, it would. Hopefully, it'd be.
I'd love to see Adrian in a boat out there, and all of a sudden you go and meet some tree branches or something, and the snake just drops into the boat.
That's happened. And our big spider web, when you go through those big webs that stretch across the slough, and a big spider hits you in the face.
Boy.
Adrian has no problem killing it and grilling it, I promise.
And those big wood spiders have hair. They look like tarantulas. They're about the size of my hand.
Oh.
On the side of the tree, and they jump in the boat.
You don't expect this to happen, though, Adrian. This is not you're not watching. Oh, look, there's a spider.
Hey, Jeremy.
It's not doesn't do that.
Hell no.
And then
Jeremy,
is a big wasp nest that they get like this big.
These wasp nests.
If you run into one of those, you better jump in the river and go in.
I have changed my mind. I will not be taking a tour in the swamp.
Jeremy. Hey, okay, let's do a vote, guys. Whoever's watching, let's do a vote. If I go, Jeremy's going to go, right?
Yes.
And
Nick has to come.
Nick
has to
do this.
I've hunted other cryptids out there, and the Honey Island Swamp Monster is no exception. I'd go immediately.
Jeremy, dude, he's going, I'm going. What's wrong with you?
You don't like spiders.
It's your people, Jeremy. You feel at home. They might even set out a nice little kitchen table or something up for you. You don't know.
You
This
what
is your
now?
manhood at stake. You have to go.
Howard, what did you say?
So that's your people. That's your people, man. Look, they may even set out a little kitchen table for you and everything. Come on out and drink some coffee or something. I don't know.
No.
That's how we used to do it back in the old days. I mean, I don't know about now, but when you go to someone's house, and that's the first thing, you just sit out on the back porch or sit out on the front porch and drink you some coffee. Talk.
Yep. Twice a day, in the morning and at 4 o'clock, around 4, you have your afternoon coffee on the porch.
And then have a conversation with the Honey Island Swamp Monster and find out his name is Earl.
What's going on with Carl right here? What's this? Here's what I got. To prevent misuse, we've temporarily restricted your ability to
what it is that Facebook is preventing him from being able to comment under his Paranormal Nation radio name.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to figure out too. What the problem was.
It's sort of like, how when you're sharing out so many times and Facebook eventually stops you.
Yeah, I've gone through that.
That happened to Carl under that name, so that's why he's commenting under his name instead of his show's name.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with StreamYard. It
That's
has
a
everything
Facebook
to
issue
do with
then.
Facebook and their algorithms. And apparently he hit a limit on one of theirs.
Facebook is getting to where it really sucks.
Yeah, it really is.
Yes, it is. Facebook, straighten up your act.
Yeah.
I got a question
Have
for
you guys
Adrian.
seen-
Adrian, you're just badass, Adrian. I know you're badass. Don't get me wrong. I've seen you in action. I know you can kick some ass and take names later, but you're going in the swamp. A snake falls in the boat right in front. It might even hit you. You don't know, and falls into the boat. How in the hell are you going to kill it?
You think I don't carry a pocket knife?
You don't think this thing's going to bite you before you get that knife out of your pocket?
What if you're dealing with a water
First
moccasin?
thing you do
Those
is
things are
step
big.
on the side that looks like a head.
You know how big these things get?
Oh yeah, I was for Hurricane Katrina. I took down FEMA trailers.
They're bigger than this.
You're an
They're
agent.
bigger than this, Adrian. They're bigger than this.
I don't think.
Hey, now
once-
Carl's under the
Yep,
comments.
he's using
under
his
a
other
different
page, the
name.
Bill of Rights Network page. All right, there we go. I don't think
There you
one
go, Carl.
stab to it is gonna kill it immediately, Adrian. If you're dealing with a water moccasin, you got the small pocket knife. You're gonna need to stab it a few times.
Actually, in Oklahoma, we swam with water moccasins. I have no problem grabbing their heads and killing them, but they don't taste good on the grill. That's only rattlesnakes.
Were you talking about a snake?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever had snake meat, and I don't think I ever want snake.
You will,
Yeah,
whether
that
you want
makes
to
two
or
of us.
not now, Jeremy.
I don't know if I'd want that either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to go a little Pitre Dish on Adrian. She likes the trouser snake. Go ahead, Adrian. Tell him the truth. You like trouser snake.
I like spice to my food. I just don't like to my
Okay.
food.
We're at the end of the show, but where can we go with this? What he just said.
Okay, yeah, we need to wrap it up because we do
Let's
have.
wrap it up.
That's like 3 minutes.
Howard? Howard? Yes, you see these?
Yeah, we do need to wrap it up because we do have Alabama Skeleton Key coming up here in a couple of minutes.
Sure, Jeremy.
There's a cobra.
So while Howard is playing with his snake, Dana,
Twice a day.
first of all, I sent you a friend request. Tell everybody where they can find you, your website again, and all that good stuff.
Well, I have the honeyislandswampmonster.com. I have DanaHolyfield.com that shows my other books. I did some cookbooks like swamp cooking and Cajun sex, and children's books and things like that. And then
I didn't even get to your books.
Huh?
So I'm sorry, I didn't even get to your books. I mean,
Yeah.
God, this woman's got some amazing books too. So yeah, definitely look it up and look at some of these books. She's got cookbooks. She's got children's books. She's covering all the bases. It's awesome.
There you go. That just gives us another reason to bring Dana onto another one of our shows.
Of course. Dana, I also sent you.
I didn't hear nothing. What you say?
I-
Now he muted himself. Look.
I want to get Dana on the 13th dimension sometime.
I knew you were going to say that.
We need the damn mute button for Howard. I swear we do.
Okay, I'll host a show next week so that we can actually mute.
No. Next week we're going to have Ryan Seymour on.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We don't want to mute that shit. I like it.
But meanwhile, we do need to get off the
Yeah,
line because the next show is getting ready to start.
Good
All
night.
right, guys.
Good night,
Thank you very
everyone.
much, Dana, for coming on, and we appreciate you doing the show with us.
Nice to meet everyone.
And thank you to everybody out there in the audience for playing along with us.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week.